As I'm sure we've all discussed and heard past few weeks, definitely it's going to be becoming more intense. We're talking about chuva, hearing chuva, inyonei chuva. Some have actually taken steps already on that progression, and some have yet to. But I think you'll ask most, if you take a poll, and you'll ask them, when you hear the word chuva, what emotions does it emit from you? What's your facial expression? I think you'll be hard-pressed to find any that will actually smile, and that will actually be besimcha when they hear the word chuva. Either conjures up images of an intense davening, or one of having to ask mechila, or feeling in general a very claustrophobic feeling that many get when it comes to religion. But I think if we understand the beauty and the matana that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us, which is called tshuva, we'll walk into Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur with a smile, besimcha, as we were supposed to. The Torah tells us, Ki karev eilecha hadavar ma'od. It's a pretty simple thing. It's pretty easy when it discusses the mitzvah of tshuva. What is it? And I think it's just a little bit of a realigning ourselves as to where we're supposed to be going. There's a story told, I don't know whose mashal it is, of a baby camel talking to its parent. And the baby turns to the mother and says, we're in a zoo, and everyone's looking at us, and I feel kind of insignificant. But more than that, I look horrible. Why am I the one that have these two humps on my backs? It's madna. I have these long eyelashes, and I have these big flat feet. I feel so weird. And the mother says, child, you have to understand, we're built and designed for the desert. And in the desert, you go many, many miles without water. So we have extra humps in our back that provide all the water for us, store it up for us. And the eyelashes so that the sand of the desert doesn't come into our eyes. And the flat feet is that so we don't fall into the deep sands at times. We're able to remain on top. But he says, mother, if that's the case and that's what we were designed for, so what are we doing in a zoo when we're supposed to be in a desert? And think to ourselves, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us, each and every one of us, we have our own tremendous milas and our characteristics and special attributes that only we bring to the table. And He created our eyes and our mouth and our ears and our nose and our brains and our hearts and every part of our body for a certain purpose, for a focus. And each one, if you bring all the purposes together, is unique, that never was created before and never will be created. So why, if we know that we have a certain tachlis to do in this world, do we remain confined in a zoo? Do we put a cage around us at times? I don't remember which one, but there was a certain psychologist who did a study. At a certain period of his life, he was paralyzed from neck down. And he was able, during the winter season, he saw that it snowed and went through and he looked through the window and he noticed that wherever the first person walked, anyone who came after him followed in those same footsteps. That path wasn't necessarily the most direct. It wasn't the shortest. But if that's where someone else went, then my shoes will fill those holes where the other shoes left. And he says that's the way we look through life. We just look at the person in front of us. He's going there, I'm going there. That's a certain cage we build ourselves in. Then tshuva is very stifling because we don't understand what it's all about. I just have charata for what I did wrong. I just feel bad all day. It should be guilt. But the Torah says what tshuva is. Tshuva, Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha. It's a realigning. Go to know where your path is, where you're treading. Your path should take you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Return. Change the direction where you're going so you connect closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when you do that, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you that ability to erase everything, eradicate every single bad act you've ever done. And not just to erase it, but turn it into mitzvahs, into schuyos. What an unbelievable loving Father we have. Is that not reason to smile? Is that not a tremendous, delightful present HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us? It's just changing our direction. Instead of following everybody else, realize we have one person we have to follow in mind, one entity. And that's the Torah and connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we go that way, we'll ultimately be the leaders. We'll be the ones that everyone will be following behind us. Klal Yisrael will be raising the torch. And the next time we hear the word tshuva, and as we focus on tshuva, it will be an avodah, but an avodah of simcha, one of rejoicing, and will bring smiles to all of our faces. Have a wonderful Shabbos.